Hey there, welcome back guys. In this video we're going to show you how to make your own 3D project using Tinkercad. That's right, we actually have it running in the background. If you're new to 3D printing and you want to know how to make your own stuff or just your own little something, you got to start off from the basics and we've got you covered. So without any further ado, let's get started. Let's see if we can print this cube. This cube's actually printing. So I'm just going to do a remake over here so that you guys can see what I actually did to get things going. So if you look over here on my screen, this is the box that we're going to make. We're doing it in two colors. If you have one color, that's fine. Just make it one color. But in this case, we just did a two color. We can go to Tinker this and see, this is the box that we're going to make. That's my filament CFS system changing the color. As you can see, when you change the colors, that's when things take a little bit longer. Box could probably take 10 to 15 minutes to print. We'll see how long it actually takes. We'll do two samples, one with this one, which is about 2-hour print, and then one with one color, which I believe is 15 minutes. You decide which version you like, and you probably want to print it in one color first just to see how it comes out. So anyway, let's get started. So we're gonna go and you're gonna start off fresh. We're gonna take you back in time to the beginning, okay? So we're just gonna refresh this. Oh wow, where's my project? Oh, because this is board. So you want to make sure you're not on board, right? But we are just on Tinkercad. Okay, so right here, voila. And then what we're gonna do is, let me just open up the cursor for you guys so you can follow along. Okay, so you might hear that printer running in the background. There we go, there's our cursor. Nothing like the sound of a new print. All right, so you're gonna click here, create new, okay? We're going to do 3D design instead of circuits or code block, you decide. But in this case, in this video, we're going to do here. So this is your workspace. See that? And see, we're in millimeters. If you don't do millimeters, choose the measurements that's right for you. As you can see, we're doing 1.0, which is by default there. Okay. These are our shapes. This is our board. These are some other exclamation thingies. See, we can have a top view, which is nice. Bottom view, sometimes you want to look underneath the board, but I'll go through that. And then back home, which gives you that view right here. And you can zoom it in like that. And let's say, oh no, where am I? You want to go back home, just press that and you're back to that view. So let's bring a cube. And now, maybe you don't like squares, right? That's okay. This will work with any of the shapes. I choose a square because ideally that's what we have printing now, and the proof will be in the pudding because you guys will see in the end what we actually printed. All right, so stay tuned. All right, so as we have our little square there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little cylinder here. There was actually a part I needed from my shower, and I needed to make a hole, and it actually worked, believe it or not. So there's our cylinder. So when you click it here, right, see, this little black thing will move it up and down. And that when it's 0, 0, see minus 0 and 0, that means it's on the board. See that? Everything is where it needs to be. And if you're not sure, just do Command Z and that will reset it to, like, oh no, I don't want that. Just undo it. And you see, now we're there. So again, if I click here, see, I'm there, and then I'm here. So now what I want to do is I want to shrink it. So you could move it, right, up and down like I did, see? But now what I want to do is I want to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to click it, see where it says 2020, right there. So I want it to be, let's do 10. 10, see? Not even 10. 10 might be a little bit too big. Let's try 8. Whoops, put too many thingies there. 8, yeah, so let's do 8 and 8. Okay, see where that brings us. Might be a little bit too much. Let's try 5. Whoops, just double tap in there. Okay, put a 5. Yeah, and then you keep going until you get that number that you actually want. I think 5 could be, yeah, 5 is a little more narrow. And so now it has to be taller than the object of desire. The object of desire is this square, and we want it to be taller so we can have a hole that penetrates all the way through. So you see we have up and down, right? So watch, if I bring it over, we're not going to get a hole that goes all the way through unless it protrudes all the way. So make it a little bit taller, okay? So we're just going to bring it up a little bit, and this will disappear as time goes by, as we move forward. And you see here, now centering it, you want to eye it. See it? So right about there. And you can click here, top view. so that you know, yeah, that's pretty good. That looks pretty dead on center. Now, if you want your hole to be bigger, smaller, you know, you measure it accordingly. And in this case, it's, you know, it is what it is. The numbers are what we made it, 5, right? Knowing that and moving forward, now what you're going to do is, see right here, just select this, right? And then we'll select hole. See, we got a hole, but we're not done as of yet because you can see it's still transparent and we can see, you know, that we want to get rid of that. So now we click on the board and then drag the mouse over it. And then what we're going to do is, see right here, group it. Yay, now we have a hole that goes all the way, see, through to the bottom. If you're not sure, you can peek through. Except I can't see the other, what's behind my computer monitor, but I could see all the way through there. So that's what you want. And as you can see, we no longer see that transparent silhouette of the cylinder that was higher than the object. But that's the only way to make it through, because if it's going through a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom, then you get a hole that comes all the way through. All right, knowing that and moving forward, we're going to add some text. See, let's add here. There we go. Kind of neat. So here's our text. Similar system. It can be a little confusing and fickle. It's a little buggy. This will allow us to move it this way. See? Just drag that way, and then in our case, we want to move it. See on the farther corner, there's another one. So we want to move it probably 90 degrees that way. And if you don't see it, let's say it's all the way on there, because on a laptop or smaller screen, it'll be harder. Just turn your board around like that, and then you can look for it that way. See, there it is right there. See that? And now what we want to do, we want to make it a little bit smaller. Now we have a height adjustment, which allows us to do it here. See, at 10. See, that makes it a little bit bigger. And I think the height at 6 at what it was fair, because we want it to go in a little bit in the back. And we're going to make this yellow. Make it whatever colors you want that work well for you, so that you can follow along in your own project, because when we bring it into our slicer, you're going to change the colors anyway. Okay, knowing that and moving forward, so as you can see, now we're going to make it smaller, similar to the square, right? See how we have 74 and 6. So let's try 10. 10 could be ideal. And 10 might not be ideal for you, because you might be using a bigger square. You might decide to use a rectangle. So 10 works well for this particular project. See? And probably 5. Yeah, 5 looks pretty good. See? Looks fair. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag it, bring it here, and see, now we can't bring it up. But in order to bring it up, you tap there on that little black spot, and then you bring it. It looks like it's on it, but no, we're not sure. In order to make sure it's on it, turn your board around. See, we were deceived. Oh, wow, look. It actually looks a little bit too wide. So for the height beveling, let's see, yeah, bring it back. Not too much, but just a little bit. Until you zoom in, okay? We can zoom in, turn the board around, and then get a number that, yeah, you could do probably there. So now we can bring it back some, okay? But you see how deceiving it is, right? Then if I can't see it, I can just go back here, go back home, so I can get a view again. And you see, now I have to bring it up and just click it. And now I can, you could also use your arrow keys. See, that moves the box. But we don't want to move the box. We want to move that. See? And now what we can do is we can, see, that's moving that way. That moves that way. And this one moves it back. Just use your arrow keys. And now once I have it where I want it, see, right about, yeah, it looks pretty good. And if you're not sure, just zoom in, okay? See, and now I could see right through, right over there. So, whoops, you might have to tap it again. See, and then voila, now we got it. So now I can click here, it's still selected. We're gonna click level, and now I can bring it up and down. See, bring it 1, 2, 3. I think it was at about, or one more. And then now I can move it this way, right about there. And then, whoop, that brings it out. I can bring it, whoops, bring it down. So with this thing right here, see? And it doesn't look centered. So now, right about there is centered. Now I bring it this way a little bit to make sure, see, that it's on the box. Now what do I want that text to say? We're making a little boom box, right? I don't know if they make speakers that big. So this one will be boom. Okay. Boom. Yeah, nice. And then on the other side, we'll have box. You could have the text say whatever you want. In this case, it's going to be a little boom box. Maybe I'll put a little speaker in there. So now, same thing with the other one. So let's see if we can copy it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. We'll know when we bring it into our slicers. Copy it, and I'm going to paste that. See, now I have here a duplicate. Whoops, undo. Sometimes that'll happen because you think you're on the box, but you're not on the box. So we just drag it over. So that boom, we're going to change the text. See how it's boom here? Make sure it's highlighted, and then do this. Maybe we'll do box. Whoops. And like normal and caps lock, right? The one that's printing might be a little bit different. Boombox. I think it's vice versa, but we'll see when it comes out from the printer. See now, similar thing as before, we're gonna have to rotate the angles, and see, there it is, probably 90. Yep, about 90. See, voila. And again, the same thing again has to be done. See, it's deceiving because he's like, oh, there it is. So there we look, we tap it, bring this up to the height that you want to bring it. I want it to be somewhat aligned with the other one. And then we'll tap it over this way. And there it is, it's on the box. No, it actually isn't. Remember, we don't know until you actually turn it to the side. See that? There we go. So now, same thing as before, select it. We'll make sure you don't have the box selected. We'll make sure you have that selected, the box. Not the red box, but the word box. And then now, see, with our arrow key, you can still move it this way and that way, but we want it to go back. See, so to go back, we gotta make sure it goes, maybe one more. This part's the tricky part. And so you can't see through. Oh, there it is. Now it's on the box. Now, I have to adjust it, see, right here, make sure you're on the word box, click align, see, and then now we center it, voila. Yeah, that's pretty good. You can adjust, no, I don't like it. Align again, I want it to be dead on center. Now, if it's not dead on center, you could always move it with like this, see, except now, yeah, oh yeah, sometimes by hand. But remember, check it and see, it came out some. That's okay. So now we'll just bring it back. See? And one more. Except now it's like embedded in there. That looks pretty cool. I like it like, not so much though. I want it to be, whoops, we have to select the box. The word box. Whoops. See? Yeah, I think that's better that way. Except it can't, it's got to be really on there. That's the only thing. And we'll, oh no, it's not. See? Yeah, it's like a slither. Wow. So this is the tricky part. And we might have to, well, it is the same size as the other one, so it should go in there. See, but it's blemishing out a little red. And then when we tap, whoop, we tap it out one. So we might have to, yeah, see, you can see right through. Yeah, wow. This is the tricky part. You know, so now, whoops, we moved the box. So select undo, make sure we have the word box selected, and then now we should be able to push it. Ah, there we go. That should do it. Back a little bit. And it looks like it should be flush. Yeah. Almost. We need to zoom in. Nope. I can still see, you could still see the floor right about there. And that's where things get a little bit, I wish we could just drop it back a little bit. Bring it back. Let's try it with the arrow key. Nope. Tap it. There we go. That's just not working out. So if that doesn't work, you can just do this. So let's say we have our box, you know, because sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating. So we click on the box, right? We bring it out a little bit. So with our little tool there, let's see what we have here. Click it, right? So they have the object of desire selected. Bring it out some. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then we select it again, and then click here on this little thing right here. See the cruise tool. And then once you cruise, you'll be able to click on that little white dot in the middle, and then boom. See, it's already there. No frustration, because no matter what, things will always have the boom effect with the cruise tool. See, right here. Just hit right there. And don't drive yourself crazy. But I like doing it the other way. But most likely you will like doing it this way. Kind of neat, huh? And then voila. Now it's flush. See that? So making it just a tad bigger. And you know, the word box looks a little stretched, but that's okay. All right, so knowing that and moving forward, now what we want to do is we want to export everything, okay? So tap the word boom, okay? And then click over here to export. And then STL, we're going to export this one particular word, boom. Okay, STL, great, so it exported. And now we're going to click on the word box. And then we're going to export it. And then select STL. And now we're going to click on the red box, right? After this thing, sees preparing model. Sometimes since it's an online web-based application, you might have to do it again. See, preparing model for export. It should not take that long, but depending on your Wi-Fi or are we still connected, you know, and being it's web-based, you know, you're at the mercy of their servers. But you can, in the meantime, while that's doing that, you could look at everything. But that's just taking too long to prepare a model that should already be sliced. So again, if that happens, we say, welcome back to everything that glitches because you're still preparing my model. All right, so then we'll go to export again. And then remember, see the selected shape, okay? Just override it. See, download restarted, and then see, voila, it happened, it worked. All right, so knowing that moving forward, so we have two, we have 1 and 2. So now the last one will be the box, this little red box. And if you know, we'll go back home so we can get a view. See, there's our boom box. So we'll select it. And now we're going to do the same thing. We can get rid of this. Select export. Remember the selected shape, STL. Now we have all our 3 shapes. I'm just going to go to my Finder to get those 3 thingies. See, there they go. 1, 2, and 3. So now select them all. Okay, and we're going to open them up, see, and then you'll get this error. This is our printer printing the current shape that we just printed, we just set up. It said load these files as a single object with multiple parts, and you're going to select yes, okay, and then voila, it loaded, see, but where is it? Remember, it's all one color. If you have one color, choose one color. You're going to have to print in one color, but you see there's our boom, and then what we're going to do is you're going to go into your slicer. Here I'm using the Creality slicer, Creality print. Go to objects. See, now we're going to change the color. So I'm going to choose 2 to be yellow and then 1 to be that color. And these are the colors that are at my slicer. I have a video that shows you how to change these colors. But if you have one color, use one. If not, change them. And see, and then there we are. Boom, box. Box, boom. Shift and slide will allow you to do this. Now we may get an error. Let's see. I'm going to slice it. Slice plate. See, we got an error. And the error is because the filament tower is off the board. So this is a error. G-code path goes beyond plate boundaries. See? Right here in red. So that just means G-code path, which is right there. So we're going to have to go close that window or shift and slide. Shift and slide, remember. Then tap that. Whoops, sorry, go to prepare and then move this right there. Right about there is fine. I have another video that will show you how to get rid of that prime tower and maybe put something else there. But it's more of a gimmick. And then see, slice the build plate. It's sliced, right? And we can choose print, but we're printing it right now. So let's see how it looks, okay? And then now, in your case, you're going to slice it again. Whoops. Or send it since it's already been sliced. But as you can see, it is going to take 2 hours and 12 minutes. See that? Which isn't so bad. Remember, that's 2 colors. But let's see how long it'll take to print 1 color so you guys can get. So we'll change that to 1 color, change that to 1 color, slice the plate, shift and slide. And as you can see, wow, you can't top that. 15 minutes. See? Look at that. right there. 15 minutes to print one color. Except you would probably want your text to be more like the word box. 2 colors, okay. 1 color, you can have it more embedded in. If you're embedded means just more inside of the box, like here. See, boom, how it's a little more flush, right? See that? And if we go that way, it's a little more flush. Whereas the word box will stick out a little bit more, which is okay. You know, like to each their own. You decide which one works right for you, and you could bring it back some, like I showed you, by pressing the arrow key. Not that one, but this one. See? And then that makes it a little more flush, but let's say it's too flush, right? So then let's try 9.5. That brings it out that way. See that? That brings the width out, but we want to bring the other one out, which is here. 6 does this way. See, that brings the word box smaller. And then this one, 9.5, we have 1, which brings the other dimensions, what we have here. Let's try 1.5. See? So that will adjust that one that way. And now look, it's a little bit better. Or you can do 1.4, right? Let's try, or 1.3, 1.3. See? Now that's a little bit better. That's almost comparable to what the other one is. But you decide what's right for you. This just gives you an idea on how to adjust it. You know, now the word box looks less stretched. But again, this video is just to get you going in the process, and you figure out what works right for you moving forward for whatever it is that you want to build. And that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at the print. Well, it's not done as of yet, but we'll catch you guys on the flip side. So here it is. Not bad, I have to say. Wow, looks better than it did on the webcam, because in the webcam it looked like it was crooked, but it wasn't. Let's bring it over here so that you guys can see. Look at that text there. We'll bring it over to the table. Kind of neat, huh? I'm just gonna stop this one here. That was the feed that you just saw, but we get better. Look at that. We got our boom text. We have boombox, boombox, my boombox. So isn't that a song by the Hanson brothers or something, or twins? So we have our prime tower. Came out pretty good. We have here boombox. Let's take it off. The hole should penetrate all the way through. Your first 3D creation. And when you think about it, it's just a combination of shapes put together. You know, you might need contour shapes, but everything's possible there because inside of the Tinkercad, as you can see, you're only limited by your imagination. There's the hole. I wonder what we could put through the hole, though. I don't know, maybe you make a necklace out of it, right? And you have your own bling where we could, you know, make little skewers for our meat party barbecue. But as you can see, we have our little boombox dreidel, sort of like, and you didn't make it out of clay. Whatever you want it to be, but again, you're only limited by your imagination. Boombox. Let's check it out from over here. Wow. So I noticed that the text is probably with bigger text, and of course the font you can mess around, and you know that's in there. Because remember, we had to seed it in. Of course, there's another way to do it so it's like flat and flush, but you pretty much get, so even though the hole looks centered, it wasn't. I wonder what the hole actually measures. Let's see, we have our digital caliper. So if we close this, we're at 0. Whoops. And then if we go here, can measure the inside. I can't see. 7. Oh wow, pretty close to what I think what we got inside. See, if we close this and then bring it in so we can get the inside. 7.4. You could always compare and measure. And then we have here, but it's just not centered because that's another story. You know, 4, 6. Yeah, well, we'll figure it out as time moves on. And now, see how this prime tower comes off. See, you don't need the prime tower It's hit or miss if you have a good printer, but it does make your prints nice and smooth. Look how clean that is. But we got some lines going on. If you're doing this for fun, you know, and you're not killing yourself, don't worry about the. I'm not losing sleep over the lines. My kids are. I'll give them their own little boom box. They're not going to be like, Dad, look, it's got lines. No, they'll be like, oh wow, that's so cool. So, you know, if you're there, then this video is for you. If you want imperfections taken out, we're not going to do that. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Oh, almost forgot. So you have your file here. Here, I'll just move this over here. Prepare. Now we have, looks like, because we had done one color, right? I wonder if it'll let me undo. Let's see. We have a prime tower that we moved over. See, we have our green, and then we have here, undo again, and yellow. So instead of clicking on all three files every single time, what we're going to do is we're going to close it, right? And then we're going to hit save. Yes, remember my choice. No, I don't want it to remember my choice. I'm going to save it. I'm just going to save it on probably this untitled folder, or maybe I'll put it on the desktop. Okay, save it wherever you want, wherever you can find it, and then you can call it. I'm going to call it my first 3D print. VR print creation. See, and now when I save it, it's showing the location. Select yes, and there it is on my desktop. See, I guess sounds like everyone's having a good time upstairs. See, my first 3D print creation. And now when I click it, I don't have to click all three because everything will be one project. See, and then you can make changes accordingly. You know, maybe change the colors in this case, but as you can see, it looks centered, but apparently it's not, because as you can see here, it's somewhat centered, but the circle, I don't know, it looks pretty centered, but then it didn't come out. Well, let's slide it over, shift and yeah, it looks centered. Well, no, it's not. If you look at it really closely and you measure it, yeah. Anyway, you'll figure that out on your own. But that's pretty much, pretty much it. Kind of neat, huh? Gotta love it. Anyway, I hope this video helped you. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. Or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time.